with man, it was impossible. No one could tell him his dream. But with God, it was possible. What we find is that whenever Nebuchadnezzar had finally had enough of arguing with the wise men, he sentenced them all to death, which included even the wise men who evidently were not present. Because we find that the guards came to arrest Daniel and his friends, and Daniel asked him, why was the king making such a hasty decision? And what we find is that the man tells him what the king has asked. Daniel doesn't go into a panic. He simply says, give us time to determine the dream and its interpretation. And again, God gives him favor and he is given the time. Now, Daniel and his friends do not go into a brainstorming session. They don't go into how they can trick the king. They don't go pleading to God to spare their lives. They ask God to reveal the dream and its interpretation. And after praying and seeking God, God revealed both the dream and the interpretation. And do you know what Daniel and his friends did next? They praised God. There is a whole chunk of this passage in Daniel that is dedicated just to them praising God. And after they gave God praise for answering their prayer and revealing the dream and its interpretation, we find that Daniel is then brought before the king. And I want you to look at what Daniel says when he is brought before King Nebuchadnezzar. We're looking at Daniel 2, verses 27 through 28. Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king. But there is a God in heaven that that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and thy vision of thy head upon thy bed are these. So not only do we see that Daniel and his friends brought this to God in prayer, then praise God for answering the prayer. Daniel made sure that before he gave the dream and its interpretation, he told King Nebuchadnezzar that this was not revealed by human understanding, but revealed by God. And not only was the revelation from God, but so was the very dream itself. Even though Nebuchadnezzar was a Gentile king who did not serve the true God, God was speaking to King Nebuchadnezzar. And God was using Daniel to reveal the answer and give understanding to these dreams.